Once again, thanks very much. I'm going to go a little in the past just to kind of create the scenario for the future. During my childhood, I don't know whether I'm blessed by given of seeing things. I see spirits. I see little child walking down on the field. I see older women walking down amongst the physical us. I see, I tell people leprechauns, little people that lives underneath the earth, that surface up the earth, and people tell me that I'm crazy. I see my grandmother walking around the house and never said anything except for my understanding wife and some understanding friends. Up to the most recent...
Until today. But they are understanding.
Yes. The most recent went back home in July, walking down Front Street, and there's a museum. I looked upstairs, and I told my wife, I said, honey, there's a lady looking out the window. She said, okay, you had too much beer for dinner? I said, no. Kind of forgot all about that. Then 2 days later, went into the museum and asked the lady that was standing in the museum, and she basically told me, well, yes, there's a lady that lives around the house. Now, fast forward through all of that. Last April, same location, same seat. Speaking to you maybe 2 minutes into my time, I've lost contact with you. And what I mean by that is now I could see you. The last time in April, I could not see you. I could not remember what I'm saying or if I was saying anything. And all I could see is around you with this bright lights and all the wonderful things that are going on in this bright light. And there's 4 sentences that I remember. And I'll mention that just a little later just to kind of go back on the bright light. And I went back to the seat and I asked my wife, I said, honey, did I make a fool out of myself? And she said, why? I said, well, I didn't remember anything I said except for the first 2 sentences. And I'm staring at Abraham. But really, there is no Abraham, and all I'm seeing is the aura. Now, the first question is, why is that?
Because you are translating energy visually.
Elaborate, please.
Esther receives us vibrationally and expresses us verbally. You receive us vibrationally and express us visually. In other words, Esther translates it into words, you translate it into images. So it's all about energy, it's all about your perspective, and it's all about your expectation also. So there's a lot more going on here than the verbal exchange. It's one of the things that we've been talking about. As you tune your vibration upward, you have access to the vibrational frequency that is who you are. And so that's what you're experiencing. In other words, as you relax, and as someone offered the word surrender to the vibration of your source, not the vibration of Abraham, but the vibration of your source, you become one with it and you have the experience with it. And it is not an easy thing to describe in physical terms that which is non-physical. That's why you have a hard time finding words to it. It was just an experience for you.
Yeah, I couldn't. And I always tell myself, maybe it is the non-physical that I was experiencing. It's the non-physical of the physical of Abraham.
Yes. You're tapping into the vibration of that which is us. Does anyone see energy? The energy is very high in this room. Are you aware of it? You're probably seeing it here as well as with many of the people who are sitting in front of you. So as you are looking in the direction of Esther, and you sort of soften your vision, try to look through her rather than at her. Pretend that there's something behind her that you want to see. Just soften your vision and look in the direction of her. And see if you don't see some energy around her. For many, it looks a little like a spotlight on her that would make a shadow behind her. But instead of a shadow, it's light. You see it? Now we're going to goose it up just a little bit. It's energy, you see. Mm-hmm. And energy is translatable into that which is vision. Goose it up a little more. This is not the optimum environment. A little more. And as we move, often the energy stays. So it's energy. That's what we've been talking about all day. That you are more than your physical body. You are vibration, you see. And so even though someday you will not be walking the hallways that you commonly walk, there is still the energy thought form of that which is you that someone could tap into and still see, because you are far more than the physical being that you know yourself to be.
So I guess I should be happy that I have this gift. But sometimes it's a little scary. There are times that I walk in the room, and just like this morning, I walk in the room. Of course, I didn't tell my wife that I see bright lights on top of people's heads. Don't know what that means, but I know it's energy, and I know it's something good, but I just don't know why I see it.
When your dog hears things you can't hear, do you call him a freak?
No, because I don't know that.
In other words, you know your dog hears things you don't hear. You know your dog smells things you don't smell, and that's good. Mm-hmm. In other words, translating vibration differently. So as our friend so eloquently was expressing earlier about the tipping point, more and more people are beginning to translate vibration verbally and translate vibration visually. There is going to become less of a crevasse between the points of view of that which is non-physical and the points of view that is physical. And so when this happens to you, what it says is your vibrational frequency on a day-to-day basis is moving higher and higher to the frequency of your broader perspective, so that you are able to see the world through the eyes of Source. That's what it means. And it is a very good thing.
Yes, and I feel blessed with that. Now, just to finalize it, I mentioned about the 4 sentences that I remembered from the last of our conversation. And I quote, "We are enlivened by our knowledge for what else is still coming for you." Final question is it still the case?
Of course. Oh, never ending. Never ending.
Great. Thank you very much.
We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. It is delicious to come together with those like you who are willing to soften your awareness of who you currently are and where you currently are and what you are currently living, in order to contemplate softly the possibility of manifesting the expansion that you are deserving of and worthy of. It's fun for us to feel the movement of your energy, even in a short space of time as we've spent here together today. We want to say to all of you that you need not any of this. There is nothing that is taking place here that you need. Don't go dragging your friends to this place in order to help them survive or thrive. In other words, just live your life as you have been living it, and lean in the direction of more optimism and more fun and more feeling of freedom. Lean in the direction of more compliments and more praising and less criticizing. And for a little while, lean in the direction of more general acknowledgement of the well-being that surrounds you, and allow yourself to tune to the frequency that we have uncovered here together today. Be easy about all of this. There is nothing that You are in the process of overcoming. There is only expansion that you are in the process of understanding and experiencing. You're not fixing things that are broken. You're just moving naturally in the direction of who you are. Have fun with it. There is great love here for you. And as always, we remain eternally and blissfully in the vortex.
Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. It's so nice being back with you guys. Say thank you to Esther one more time, would you please?